Hi everyone, my name is Ryan and I am a remote teacher of the Sable Secondary Program with Oxbridge Institute. In this video we'll look into some ways that we, as remote teachers, can include elements of our culture into the secondary lessons that we teach into the Sable program. So firstly, in Creo dos, you'll want to locate the folder of lesson plans for Sable Secondary. In this folder you'll see that they're arranged by different grades, from 1st through to 6th. For the purposes of this video, we'll be looking at grades 4 and up. So if we look at grade 4, we have some different topics or units of work. So let's look into the unit about work. So we have some different lesson plans here. So if we look specifically at professions, we can see the aims are to talk about different professions, as well as comparing advantages and disadvantages between them, and also discussing what is a good job. So in order to discuss a good job, we would obviously need to use vocabulary to do with that. So perhaps something visual to help with that. So as we see in the accompanying PowerPoint, we have some examples of professions. But as RTs, we should be asking ourselves now, how can I impart part of my culture into this? So if we were to ask ourselves, what jobs do people do in your home culture? What jobs have you held in your home culture? What job did you dream of doing when you were younger? So obviously talking about ourselves isn't the focus of the Sable program. But these should be giving us some ideas that we can make the lesson both informative from a language aim and a cultural aim for the students. So we've asked ourselves some of these questions. For instance, the dream job. Why wouldn't we ask the students? So if I jump towards the end of this particular PPT, you'll notice that there's a slide that mentions what is the best job ever. Now, you could recycle the dream job here, but perhaps there's another one from your culture that works well. So for me, from Australia, there was a job campaign about the best job in the world. Convenient, right? And in it, you can see there's some different vocabulary related. So this gives us something more to talk about. It allows the students to take notes of the vocabulary, and it opens up additional questions that we can ask. In the video, we saw a salary of $150,000 for 6 months. Is this a lot of money? Would your dream job have a salary like that? Would it be more? Would your dream job be about the money? So this gives us some ideas to talk about. But again, let's look at another unit now. So we've looked at a bit to do with work. What if we were to look at places and traveling? So immediately the first lesson plan we find is about my city. And again, if we open this up, we notice that the aims are able to compare a city in Uruguay to Liverpool in the UK. But hang on, we now have to make a comparison, but how would you introduce the target language to make a comparison? Is there perhaps a third city that the remote teacher knows about that we could use as an example here? So of course, you could have photographs to compare your city visually, but in that sense you can use your city as the model language, as part of the model language to compare between Liverpool and another city. So as you've seen, we've looked at grades 4 so far. What if we jump to grade 6, for example? So in particular, there was a lesson to do with heroes. So sports heroes in particular. So now not everyone is a fan of sports, including remote teachers, but for the purpose of this lesson, as you can see in the lesson plan, the aim is to talk about a sports person or someone that you admire. Now, obviously being Uruguay, a lot of students will respond their hero is Luis Suarez or Edison Cavani. However, what about you personally? So in your culture, is there a sports hero that's also idolized? Perhaps you have a family member who's idolized or who's respected in such a way. So again, in Australia, this is the case. There's a lot of sports people. There's a lot of famous people who could be respected such a way. So these are just a handful of ideas that can help you fulfill both roles in the Sable Secondary program, both as an English teacher and as a cultural ambassador. So best of luck on your Sable journey, and we hope you enjoy your time as part of the program.